Hey guys, welcome back to our lessons in Abuan alphabets, focusing on the consonants. All right, like we mentioned last video, we mentioned that today we'll be taking a look at the combo consonants ne, me, and ne, ge. So how are these combo consonants pronounced in Abuan language? We're going to be taking a look at this. So let's go ahead and get started. All right. So taking a look at these two consonants that we're going to be taking a look at it. Look at the examples. Okay. As I mentioned previously, I'm not a big fan of these combo consonants, the way they are being used or the way they are represented. You know, ne, me should sound ma, ma. That's how it should sound. Ma, ne, me should sound ma. Okay, so this is an M sound. This is an M sound. So for one reason, if you look at it, if it's an M sound, what is N doing there? You know, what is the ne doing there, since this has to do with M sound? So that's the number one mistake right there. So, but nevertheless, a combo of them is pronounced ma. And like I said, this should have been a special character, just like I said, a special alphabet. You know, M with a special tone mark. To show that it's M sounding differently. You know, instead of sounding me, it's sounding ma, ma. All right, that's how this should sound. All right, and then we'll take a look at it, which we're going to see in the following slides. Okay, in the next few slides, we'll be taking a look at this ne, ge. This combo consonant, like I said, is misrepresented. It's supposed to sound nga. So this is ma, this is nga. So semi-nasal sound. Ma, nga, or nge. Ma, nga. So depending on which vowel you employ, and then it sounds that way. Okay, so let's take a look at the first example. All right, so this then will be pronounced me, e, ge, he. Me, e, ge, he. Okay, me, e, he. Make, because this combo ge, he sound h, and this sound me. So me, e, h. Make, and that is a verb. Make is a verb that translates the English word sprain or bend awkwardly, you know, or even break, depending on the context. And like I said, this should have been simply represented with M with a special tone mark, making it a special character. Okay, so it should have been just ma or me, e, he. Me, e, he. Make. See, it should have been like that, because growing up, that is the way I knew, you know. But I don't know, something happened along the line and they changed the alphabets, and that's what they are using, this combo. And as we go, you know, further in the examples, you will see that this is very awkward. Anyway, but that's what we're using. All right, so make, like we mentioned, is to sprain or bend, you know, to the point of breaking. That is make. Here's another example. So then being the verb, this being the verb, the noun form of it will be en, me, e, re. En, me, e, re. En, make. That is the noun form of it. And like I said, it should have been just simply like this because we are dealing with M, a special M. There should have been no need for N to be there. This is a special, but this is what they're using all over the literature. So let's go ahead and use it. All right. So this is the noun form of the verb make, make. All right. And that means to sprain, bend, or break. Let's take another example here. This is en, me, re, me, a. See? So that is ong megi ma. Ong megi ma. Ong megi ma. See? And that is a noun. So that is self-sprain. On make could be somebody responsible for doing it other than the person himself. So this is make. It could be anybody, okay, doing it. It could be anybody spraining or breaking something, all right? But ong megema tells us that the person himself did it by himself. And that is what this ma means, ong megema. That's self-sprain. And like I said, it could have been just simply using this special character instead of using a combo consonants, okay? So it should have been ong megema with a special character. But having said that, this is what they're using. See, this represents the me, ni, me. Again, I see no reason whatsoever what N is doing in the sound of M. But it is what it is. All right? So then you look at this. Here's another example. We have me, re. Remember, the I here is tone marked. The I is tone marked. So I. So me, re. Mir. Me, re. Mir. And that is a verb. Simply meaning making a disgusting face or a disgusting look. That kind of look in which you don't like what you're seeing. The Abuan referred to that kind of face as ungmir. That is a noun form of it. And like I said, once more, it's a special character. It should have been just this. Me, iri, mir, and o, me, iri, ungmir. This should have been the characters used here, but this is what is being used. Okay? All right, let's move on to more examples. All right, so there you have another one here. And this is ma, me, re, me. Magagam is a verb. Magagam is the noun form of it. And that translates the English word mockery, making a mockery of something. That is magagam. It's mockery. And like I said, if a special character was used, this would have been the spelling, very neat and clean. And this would have been the corresponding noun. Okay? Magagam. But this is what they're using. And like I said, I see no reason whatsoever what N is doing in M sound. All right? Here's another example. There is me, re, mak. Me, re, mak, on mak. Okay? On mak. And this translates the English a situation in which somebody is kind of putting pressure on another person to do something. Pressuring, unnecessarily pressuring somebody to do something. And so the person is so frantic, on mak. On mak. All right, so I don't know what English word would, if just one word in English to translate that. Somebody being frantic and, because of pressure from someone else, So this is the verb form of it, and this is the noun form of it. Ongmak. All right? Like I said, if a special character is used, it would have been this instead. Mak is the verb. Ongmak would have been the verb. But again, this is the combo consonant currently being used. Ongmak. Mak. All right? So, just to reiterate, this word translates a situation in which one is being forced to do something with a lot of pressure, and so the person is being frantic, because of the pressure and the nerves, is being frantic. That is ongmak. All right? A similar word would also be okbak, but ongmak, that's another expression for it. Now, here is a similar or sister word that's pretty close to ongmak. 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 All right? Ongmak was the person is just being desperate, with eyes lit open, and is frantic, And this is the root word for ongmagaran, to open eyes wide. See, this is ongmak. Of course, we didn't spell that word, ongmagaran. This is the root word for ongmagaran. But this is ongmak, The person is running up and down and frantic. These two are related, but except that ongmak is someone else pressuring the person. So the person is being nervous and then begin to show this, ongmak. All right, so this is how this combo consonant can be used. Like I said, in Abuan, if you start end with another consonant, it just doesn't sound. And we will see that in other examples that are coming up. The Abuan man does not pronounce N, with another consonant, unless the consonant is kind of like a semi-vowel. You see, if it's semi-vowel, then probably it would sound. But just purely N plus M combined, the Abuan man would not pronounce it. It's just, the N would just be E. It wouldn't be no. Anyway, but that's my view from understanding the language. But anyway, this, they said, should be ma. So this is mak, and this is mak, ongmak, ongmak. Okay? Let's consider another example. Here's the other example there. So here's one. All right? So if you look at it, this is me, o, mo. But if you look at it here, the Abuan man does not recognize N at the beginning of a letter, unless it is followed by a vowel. So this cannot be mo. See, this cannot be mo. All right? But anyway, that's what they are spelling as mo, which is a verb to give, especially to give a gift. All right? This word is specifically reserved for giving a gift. Mo, ingmo. All right? Ingmo is now the noun form of this expression where this is the verb. See? If they had simply used the special character that I was talking about, it would have been me, o, mo. That's it, because it's a special character, It doesn't have to have N there, because Abuan man does not pronounce N with another consonant. The N would not sound. It will be silent. It will be silent. Or at best, it will have a sound. All right? So this is Imo. That's how they spell it. But it should have been this. See? E, me, O. Because this is a special character, Imo. But this is how people are spelling. In my days, during elementary school, when we were taught this language, this is how this name was spelled, with a special character, Imo. All right? But today, this is how people are spelling it, Imo. Being the noun form of the verb mo. All right, and I gave this illustration for people to understand. Think about this. How would the Englishman pronounce the name Mosef? The Englishman would simply say Mosef. He would employ F here because in his own letters, PH sounds F, a soft F. But in the Abuan language, PH is, see, Mosef. See, that is how, but if you give this name to ask an English-speaking person to pronounce his name, it would say Mosef. It would just see it as Joseph with an M. You see, he wouldn't recognize it unless you tell him that this has a special sound. Then he would say it correctly. The same thing here. This, the Abuan man does not recognize it unless you tell him, say, oh, pronounce it as ng, then he would say it. But ordinarily, the Abuan man would not recognize N in front of M. And this can be illustrated in this other example here that I've given. All right? Ongozi, the Abuan man would not pronounce Ongozi as the Igbo would. But this is a very common name in Abua. But in Abua, how is this pronounced? Igozi. You see, the Abuan man employs, he employs substitute I for the N. Igozi. See, this is a town in Igbo land. Newi, the Abuan man would not pronounce it. Newi, it's the I Newi. See, so if there is N before another consonant, it would not sound. It would just simply be silent, or A would be substituted for the N. For the same thing, this is another town in Igbo land. If Abuan man is to pronounce this M, he would rather substitute U in place of M. So, that is how we say, umba, totally. You see? U would be there, ubatoli. See? So these letters that are brought in here does not belong. We are only asked to pronounce it that way. But the combo does not represent the way Abuan man speak, because this is supposed to be a special character. Just as you look at it, if you ask a Abuan man to pronounce John, J does not belong to the Abuan alphabet. So the Abuan man will substitute Z in here, Zon, Joseph. But because of exposure, the Abuan man now can pronounce it, recognizing that this is a foreign name. See? So because those ones who have been exposed to other languages, they know how to pronounce the J, but the J does not belong in Abuan alphabet. The same thing, this combo does not belong in Abuan alphabet. We can only pronounce it because we are asked to pronounce it that way, recognizing that it is a foreign letter. So this is the argument here. This should be silent, or at best, A would be there. See? So it does not translate the sound needed for mo. It's only a special character that can bring out that sound. But that's my argument anyway. But having said that, this is currently how this combo is being used. This is ingmo instead of ingmo. All right? All right? So, Of course, this should have been tone mark. This letter should have been tone mark. This is I tone mark in mo, because this is high case. This is a high, a low pitch sound vowel. So this should be low pitch. This should be low pitch. So this should be I tone mark, all right? And this should be I tone mark. Anyway, but when it comes to names, you don't need to tone mark anything unless you want to. You can always tell people how your name is being pronounced. And the reason why tone marks are not necessary names, because they don't change the meaning of a sentence. All right? You just need to know how the name is pronounced. All right? So now we can move on to the next slide, and that would take us to the NG combo. This is the other one that I mentioned. This is strange to Abuan language. You know, you cannot put N in front of another consonant. The N will be silent, okay? But here we are asked to pronounce this as nga, nga or ngi. This is ngi, nga. So semi-nasal sound, nga. All right? So now it would have been a special character like this, you know, N tone mark in this wiggle, you know, tone mark there. It would have been a special character to sound nga, nga. All right? So, well, let's look at the first example there. So this is nga, nga. Again, if you look at the way the Abuan man pronounced, this would have been silent, or at best, See? So, but when you employ the special character and recognize that it sounds nga, this will be nga. But even then, we are asked to pronounce this nga, which is a verb, all right? That translate give, all right? Nga, give, all right? So the corresponding noun form of it is onga, all right? And the plural form is inga, all right? So it's pluralized because if several people are giving something to somebody, then the Abuan man will make it plural. So inga, that's plural verb, all right? But in my argument, it should have been a special character, so this should have been nga, you know, without anything there. It's nga, because it has to be a consonant plus a vowel to make it sound. Nga, which would have been the verb, and the corresponding noun would have been onga, all right? Because of the special character, it would have been easier. Then the plural form of it would have been inga, right? All right. So, what about this? So, look at it this way. This is what I said. If you take a look at this, when it's a name is Onga, but here, remember Ongozi, we'll look at the example in Ongozi, all right? So why is this not sounding Onga? You see? If we are to follow that, you know, so that's the thing. What I'm saying that this doesn't belong. It just is simply a special character. But anyway, that's my argument. So that's the way I've mentioned here. This is what we're using regardless. But in my argument, this is purely Igbo combo. It has nothing to do with Abuan. But this is what we're using. All right? This is ma, and this is nga, ma, nga. That's what we're using. All right, so what are the examples that you have for these combo consonants? You know, you can post your remarks or your questions, your examples on the comment section. All right, the next video will be focusing on this combo consonant. Look at it. See, this is N-Y, that is nge, Nye, ye, nye, ye. This can sound because Y is a semi-vowel. It has a vowel sound, a semi-vowel sound of I. So that is why this is nye, nye. See, because of the E sound that the Y sounds. This is, and in English, Y is a semi-vowel. How about this? This is, P, H. It's a legit combo consonant. That's what we'll be taking a look at next time in the next video. Thank you all for watching. See you all next time.